Hello, everyone. This is Will, and this is episode number 3 of the Glow tutorial series. In the last episode, we went over the basics of the Canvas view, which is where we build workflows. And today, we're going to actually be building our first workflow. We're going to start off simple, and we're going to be using the drag and drop method rather than using text to workflow here in the work assistant chat. And we're going to start off simple, as I say, and as we go through this, we'll add kind of extra layers of capabilities to our workflow. So let's start off super duper simple. And I'm just going to output a message into Slack. So rather than actually using this bar at the bottom, I'm just going to go ahead and click here to add a step. We're looking for Slack. It's not a trigger, it's an action I'm looking for because I'm going to be just sending a message to the channel. So you'll notice that I haven't logged into Slack. I haven't authorized Glow to use my Slack account. So I'm going to have to connect a new account here. And this shouldn't take long at all. I was just choosing the correct Slack server that I want to connect to. I'm an admin of this one, so let's connect to the Glow Slack. There we go. And I want to output this to a channel. Let's output this to all Glow. And we're just going to say, hello world. Really simple. So we don't have a trigger yet, but actually we can test this by using a manual run. So you'll notice there's a little badge in the top left of this step here, and this denotes that if I were to execute the manual run command, it would run from here. And I can either do that by clicking it or by pressing the run button in the bottom left. And I can choose where I want to anchor this. So if I have many steps in my workflow, they would all be listed here, and I would be able to choose which one I wanted to run from. So let's just test this and see if it works. So I'm going to run it, and you can see this will animate as the execution is in progress. And we can see that this is outputted hello world for us. If I wanted to send this as a user and change the avatar, the profile picture, and things like that, you can do that with these extra configuration options here. Okay, cool, that worked. So let's now extend this and add a trigger. So I could either add a trigger again from down here or here, or I could click on the actual trigger step that's already on the canvas. It's a bit easier, so I'm going to do that. I don't want to trigger this from something happening, an event happening in an application. Instead, I want this to run automatically every day at 9 in the morning, let's say. So I'm going to want to select the scheduler. And the scheduler is really easy to use. I'm going to select my time zone, which is UTC. That's actually the default time zone, which is why it's empty. And I want to run this daily at 9 a.m. And it's super duper simple. You just type with open text the timing that you would like, whether that's every few minutes. In fact, let's change this and run this every 1 minute. And you'll notice if you set this yourself that actually it won't run every minute yet. And this would be the case for any trigger that we've added to the canvas so far, because we are still in draft mode. So in draft mode, this basically means that your triggers are not active. And so the only way that you can run or test your workflow is by using the manual start. So I actually want this scheduler to work, so I'm going to put this in live mode. And you'll see that this has now been activated, and this should now run every minute, which we'll check on in a minute. Okay, so I actually want to extend this a little further. I'm going to add a new trigger, and you can see that this has just been triggered itself, and it's going to be triggering every minute from now on. But I'm actually going to add another trigger. I'm going to add a Slack trigger, and it's going to trigger on a new message. Oh, it's still loading. So let's hook this up. And in this case, I want it to trigger when there's a new message in the Glow channel. And I'm actually going to deactivate this one for now, because otherwise it will be trapped in a loop. Because this will post in the channel, and then this one will be triggered, and this one will post in the channel, this one will be triggered, this one will be posted in the channel, etc. So I'm going to amend this. First, I'm going to add a small delay, and we're just going to put that in there. Duration in seconds. Let's do 20 seconds. That's enough. And I'm also going to add a condition. And this condition is going to evaluate the message that triggers this workflow. And if it has a certain keyword, which I'm going to implement in a minute, it will then send this message. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do this evaluation here. So if this data has this condition, then go to delay. And we can also add an else. We can add other conditions if there were other steps here. But in this case, we're going to select the data from Slack text. And we're going to check if it contains the keyword news. So if the message here contains this string news, it will continue and it will post hello world. Pretty simple. So let's try it. So I'm gonna type, and you can, as you can see, this since I updated the send as user, it's now sending as me. Random message. So the behavior we expect here is that it will trigger this step. It will continue through to the condition step, but it will then stop because it will do an evaluation and check if the news in brackets keyword is used, and it hasn't been. So let's change this and let's include news message. This time it should pass through the condition. It should then pass to this delay step. It won't trigger this one yet because it's going to wait 20 seconds. And then in a few seconds, we'll expect this to post the message, hello world, in Slack. There we go. Hello world. So far, so good. I'm just going to clean up the canvas by using this button. And we can see that actually this posting back into the same channel then triggered our workflow again. But of course, it won't continue past condition because it doesn't have the news keyword. So that's it for tutorial number 4. In the next tutorial, we're going to expand on this example a little bit more. Thanks, guys. See ya.